And we are live with another episode of Comic Talk. It's that show brought to you by The Keeg, where we talk about this week's new comic book releases. For those of you who don't know, new DC comics come out on Tuesdays, though I think that changes in July. Somebody should fact check me on that. New Marvel and indie comics come out on Wednesdays, and we're here on a Thursday, June 27th, 2024, to talk about all the comics that we read this week. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and if you're watching us live, you know, you're watching us on twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. If you're watching us live, you can see who our guests are, but if you're listening to the podcast, wherever you get your podcast from, you can't see our guests. But these two guests have been on the show before, but never together. Who knows what hilarity will ensue. We got Aaron, aka King Krakoa, aka Aaron the Star Child. AKA, how many AKAs you got?
We just two at the moment, and we're trying to make that as minimum AKAs as possible, you know?
we gotta I gotta sit you down. We gotta work. You know, my day job, I work in marketing, so like let's figure something out for you, you know?
Look, hey, if you want to help me work on the marketing, if you want to help me work on my brand, let's do it, man.
I'm telling you right now, if you want consistent across all social media usernames, the King Krakoa.
Right.
Or King of Krakoa. I don't know.
It's a conversation because I know I need to, but now with the end of my golden age, I don't know.
Oh, are you giving up on Krakoa?
What we're gonna do? I will never give up on Krakoa. It is always in forever in my heart, and it will never be a time where I will never not think about Krakoa.
Yeah.
And but like they said in the book, it's only the first Krakoan age. So
yeah,
who knows? You know, I might. It'll still. Krakoa always has a place in my heart. So we'll see.
I'm excited for new X-Men comics that come out next month. So, you know,
yeah,
it's a new age.
I'm leery, but I'm ready.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very curious, but I know I'm gonna support it, and I know that like new readers are gonna hop on, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Let me introduce my next guest. He's new to Comic Talk, but this is his second show, right?
Yeah.
Right, Christian?
Second show.
We got Comic Book Stash.
How's it going, guys? I'm back.
You're back. You missed the cutoff for the artwork to get made for you. Like I got you on the show like right after. So now you're you know, for anyone keeping track of the Comic Talk lore, you know, the mythos, Christian is
universe.
Christian's the robot with the TV head.
Yeah, that's been me twice now.
Yeah. And so welcome back to the show.
Yeah, hopefully there's a third time, you know.
Yeah. I feel like you do a third time and then I'll get some artwork commission for you.
I'm okay with being the robot, dude. I feel cool.
The robot, I have to use the robot for like any new person that I'm like, okay, you know? Because getting that artwork...
I gotta earn it, is what you're saying.
Well, it also takes time to get the artwork done, so I'm like, all right.
No, I totally understand.
I'm glad to have you guys both on the show. We all read a bunch, but I feel like there were some that I really wanted to read that I didn't get to. And I think like people out there don't realize, because these books come out on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and we do the show on Thursday, how hard it is to read a bunch of books before a Thursday show. But we manage every week, you know. Tell me what you guys read this week, because I also have to look up my list of what I read this week.
Kerfuffle.
Unless you guys want me to go first.
I mean, you're the host.
I mean,
I'll go first.
You know?
I'll go first. I've been trying to do that. I feel like I put everybody on the spot and then I go later. All right. So I read Action Comics 1066 and Superman 15. I read Ultimate Black Panther 5. I read Green Arrow 13. I read Daredevil 10. I read Blood Hunt 4. I read Absolute Power Ground Zero #1. I read Superior Spider-Man 8. I read Midnight Suns Blood Hunt #2, Helverine #2, X-Men Era of Apocalypse #2, and Feral 4, and I think that's it. There were some on my list like I didn't get to, but there were some X-Men titles I didn't get a chance, but you know, it is what it is.
Was there any of them besides X-Men besides Air of Apocalypse? Oh wait, Blood Hunt. Never for
There
Magic.
was
Yeah.
Helverine. There was Blood Hunt Magic.
Okay.
There was X-Men
Yeah.
97 #4, right? And then I mean there was Wolverine Madripoor Knights if you're reading that. I'm not reading it, so.
No, I'm okay.
But yeah, those are the X-Men titles. But yeah, that's what I got.
I'm still waiting for the new X-Men jumping on point.
It's next month.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm ready for it. Yeah, now that I finally like sat there and like forced myself to read all of the end of like Krakoa and stuff, I'm excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet, but I'm excited to see how they bring us to to this point where they're gonna where the like mutant kind is gonna go from there. Really.
Yeah, I think what I'm excited about is getting new people on it, and then being able to have like our State of X podcast that we do every month. Getting some new blood on there because people can jump on and like stay up to date. So the train is at the station right now. It's gonna start leaving the station in July, August, September. Then it's full speed ahead. All the things come out by then. So, I'm excited.
So what I gather is you like to make things hard for yourself, and
yeah. I mean, wait, in what sense? But yes,
like the third show, you're reading like 20 books a week. I mean, it's impressive. I respect it. I can't do that. I wish.
I think X-Men is the only like corner of comics that I could do a separate podcast on. So that's why I was like, So we do State of X every month, and it's like once a month, and it's like, all right, cool. Fine. Like
it's dope.
It's not like a Batman podcast every month. Like
no, yeah,
right.
And I feel like
you have a month to read all of them.
No, yeah, the X-Men has enough books where you could like make 3 podcasts if you wanted. Honestly,
I mean,
truly, you could.
Because we don't even
you could make one just for the outer universe stuff.
Yeah,
right.
So we could
like the outer universe stuff alone.
The what?
The outer stuff, the outer universe stuff, like Ultimate X-Men, the X-Men Forever stuff.
Yeah,
like that stuff alone, you could do a whole podcast on.
Yeah. You don't even need that, What'd you guys read? What's your list?
I had mainly indies. I took it easy on myself this week.
Yeah.
Read Walking Dead 91. Catching up on that, it's Walking Dead Deluxe. They're re-releasing everything,
but it's in
color. Yeah, it's fun. I like to say like people are like, oh, but like the original is way better. But like for a new collector, but like I can't afford to buy, issue 30 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So it's way easier. Each month you get like 2. So it's gonna take me like 10 years to read the entire 193.
Each month you get 2? Oh, it's bi-weekly?
Yeah, it's bi-weekly.
Oh. I mean, that makes sense. All they gotta do is color it, right?
Yeah. But it's fun. I mean, it's gonna take me like 10 years to read the whole series, but
you can savor it.
It's not 140. It's like 150.
It's like 193, I think.
Oh, is it 193?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we got 50 months left, guys. Just, be with me.
Yeah, that's a lot. No. Yeah, that's a couple. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it's fun, and we're at 91 right now. And we're approaching like the Negan era of The Walking Dead. So that's pretty exciting. Then I read Animal Pound #4. Animal Pound is basically a modern version of the George Orwell book, Animal Farm. Real fun, more fun than it sounds, and I like the art is phenomenal, and I'm really having a fun time with that one. It's a book that I picked up just because it sounded somewhat interesting. But I was so excited to just jump in, and each issue keeps getting better.
All right, I haven't picked that one up. what did you read, Aaron? You got a whole list, so
Okay,
let us know
guys.
titles.
So
I want to know titles and issue numbers. So otherwise, I'm gonna make you start back from the beginning.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This is I've trained for days like this. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it. So, the first one is I did Action Comics number 1066, Superman number 15. I also did Ultimate Black Panther number 5, which amazing. Blunt Hunt number 4, Absolute Power Ground 0. Let me see. Superior Spider-Man number 8. I didn't get to my the Zatanna, but I got Power Girl number 10, X-Men Blood Hunt Magic number 1, Midnight Suns Blood Hunt number 2, X-Men Heir of Apocalypse number 2, Black Widow and Hawkeye number 4, Thanos Annual, the Rick and Morty Kingdom Balls, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 121. I feel like I'm definitely missing a couple, but there were some I didn't get to, like Jackpot and Black Cat.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah.
Shout out to we got a first time chatter on Twitch, Mo Fear, saying I have no idea what's going on with Blood Hunt. Wonder if any of it is worth the read. So let's get into our picks of the week mine's gonna tie in with this. All right. So each of us have a pick of the week, and I'm gonna say, look, I understand when people are hesitant to pick up a big old crossover event, whether it's DC, whether it's Marvel, but not all crossover events are bad. You know, some are. Like DC's Lazarus Planet, to me, not a good event. DC's Night Terrors, not a good event.
Nope.
I'm hoping Absolute Power is better, but we don't know yet. Like, we just had the Ground Zero book. But I can say almost 100% of the Blood Hunt stuff has been great. Some have been S tier, you know, just like supreme level, like better than an A. Some of them have been like B's, like the Jubilee X-Men Blood Hunt Jubilee. To me was like,
it was cute.
It was a B, you know. Jack the Ripper or Union Jack the Ripper, that's been an A, like a solid A.
Oh, has it?
Yeah. And I didn't care. These are all, like, a lot of these are characters I don't care about, but this event has made me like, oh, so this event has been pretty good. And like, people like to complain first and then read second. Basically, everybody was complaining that, like, I guess spoiler. So let's talk Blood Hunt number 4. So spoiler that happens at the end of Blood Hunt number 1. We're already 4 issues in, so I feel like I can spoil it. You find out that the leader of the vampires is Blade, and the vampire uprising is because of him. And so people are just like obviously started complaining, being like, why would he do that? That's so out of character, blah, blah, blah. Marvel doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like the normal whining that people do. And it's like, could it be that it's not actually Blade? Could it be that there's something else in play? Oh, no, you just got to complain about it. It's like, come on. Just like when people complained about Hydra Cap, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Hydra Cap. Like, when he was like, Hail Hydra, I knew, I was like, that isn't Cap. Like, people who don't, like, just really stupidly were like, Marvel is making Captain America have been a Nazi the whole time? And it's like,
I think it's
not really.
For me, it's as simple as, like, with any event or any comic book, I always give it at least 3 issues. And
sometimes
I'm not talking
there's
tie-ins.
A reveal that'll make things make
I'm
sense.
not talking tie-ins. Like, if we're talking Blood, give it 3. I haven't personally been reading any events right now. My first event I ever fully like read was Night Terrors, and you guys know. And,
Night Terrors was not. Night Terrors was literally all tie-ins. Like they had one main Night Terror book. I forget how many issues. There was like 4.
Yeah, it was
issues.
like 4. 4, nothing.
And it's like
too crazy.
Everything else was just Night Terror tie-ins. I did not like it.
That's the thing. Like, you give it a minute.
On it. And I was like, yeah. After like 5 minutes of me just sitting there, like, what is the? I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even finish the sentence. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with it,
Yeah.
whatever this is. But Blood Hunt, I think I was definitely one of the people who was very much saying, oh, Blood Hunt is going to be absolute trash. Like, it's going to be garbage, and I'm just
Mm.
gonna just have to like deal with it. But like, because it's just another vampire story. But honestly, within the first 3 pages is I'm just like, oh, shit is hitting the fan. It's like weird, like everyone's kind of flood rushing to get everywhere,
Yeah.
and like it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you like wanting more. And every issue there's never been an issue yet that's been like it flopped. Like
Yeah.
like every issue has like reached a has like had a surprising moment or like has kept you like entertained in it like it's a movie.
Yeah. Oh, this has
For
been very cinematic.
for
Like,
me,
yeah.
Yes.
probably this is the worst thing I can hear coming from you guys because for me it was like oh, I get to take a break, maybe not pick up
Oh
Fantastic
no.
Four or this. And I was like, okay, I'll just take a break for like a month or two from like those series. And now I hear this and I'm like,
You're
oh,
gonna want to
I
pick that up,
have
I
to
bud.
mean,
go back and
again,
read
it's
You're gonna
all
have to
of
pick
it.
that one up, bud.
look, I'm a big fan of supporting the hits,
Yeah,
Like
I totally get it.
if these
Sure.
companies, cuz you could say good or bad things about DC or Marvel. Like, I love to read all these books. Sure, but not all these books
Right.
are equal, right? And not all crossovers
Yeah.
are equal. And like DC and Marvel, they're companies that are trying to go for a profit, right? They're trying
Yeah.
to like sell,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes they do really
Right, we get
gimmicky
it.
things, and sometimes,
Some
you know,
some crossovers work better as like their own story. Like just
Yes.
make it a trade. I mean, wasn't a DC DC's that was just a book, right?
no, I mean, it wasn't a book. I mean, it was a mini series, but it's its own
Yeah, no, but like,
universe.
but
Yeah.
I feel like Night Terrors could have just been a, a mini or a maxi. It didn't have to be
Yeah.
Right.
such a big event.
I
Because
think I think they needed
Right.
it to take the spot because they put a lot of series on hiatus to get through Night
Yeah.
Terrors, and then they came back.
Yeah.
So I think they probably were just
But
biding their
also
time.
they had so many like arcs and stories going on at that point. Like there were so many like big stories like happening one after another. Like the Lazarus Planet, then the
Yeah,
Night Terrors, then what else happened
Beast World,
Beast
before
World.
that? Yep,
Beast
Beast
World.
World, yes. And
Beast
then like
World.
and before that it was Crisis of Dark Crisis.
I did not. Yeah, like DC crossover events have not been my favorite.
For me, the only
Yeah.
thing I enjoyed out of
Lately.
Night Terrors was Satana with Robot Man. That's the
Oh, I didn't
only
read that
issue.
one. Yeah.
That's the only one I enjoyed. That's it. And
I like
even
the
now,
Angel
like
Breaker. The Angel Breaker Night Terrors
okay,
tie-in.
but even now, like I'm reading, I read this today. Like the Flash number 10, they're already like crossing over with Absolute Power, and it's like
Yeah.
I gotta
Well,
jump
I'm
into it.
hoping Absolute Power is good. I think Mark Waid is writing it, right?
The art looks
Yeah,
extremely
he is one
cool.
of the writers, yeah.
I'm gonna try it out just for you guys.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah. I
Absolute
haven't done
Power is
a
Mark
DC
Waid.
arc
I'm
in a
gonna give it
minute.
a shot. Mark Waid does not
Yeah.
miss. He doesn't.
Yeah. I don't have any like bad stories from Mark Waid. I think that I'm like nah. I'm going to give it a shot. And this is going to be a good DC arc I think for me because I haven't read a whole DC arc in to be honest in a minute. Yeah, like honestly they're not gonna like after like the 52 stuff they can't beat Blackest Night. Like honestly like that's gonna stay
Oh, is
like
that
one
your
of my
favorite?
penultimate like oh, of all time, like
Hmm.
of like Marvel or DC, like that is like one of my favorite story arcs. Blackest Night and Brightest Day. Oh my god, it it's what solidified my love of comics.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. What were you saying, Christian?
it's kind of funny. Like I've been reading for what 2-3 years, so I haven't jumped into a lot of events. So I got Night
Mm.
Terrors, and then whatever Spider-Man had last year with like Wreck Rap.
Oh my god, Dark Web. Oh, we don't talk about Bruno.
Oh,
Oh,
no. But that's
Jesus,
Dark Web's not a real event. It was like
The
a.
the
I don't.
It was
It was
like
a
a.
pseudo event.
It was an event in the series, right?
Yeah,
But
no,
it.
but
Yeah.
they got some X-Men into it. They got
Yeah, it was.
See,
I wouldn't consider it like a
I'm
real
so sorry that those
Marvel
are the
event.
arcs that you jump
hey
into for the
buddy,
first time.
we
That's
learn from our mistakes.
Christian, man.
Um.
That's exactly it. We learn from our mistakes. This is how we learn, and this is how we grow.
With Blood Hunt though, I do recommend it.
Yeah, you'll be thoroughly
I
impressed.
I definitely. By the way, my favorite DC event was Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis is
Respectable.
all the
Respect. Yeah.
tie-ins with Infinite Crisis. We got
Yeah.
Secret Sixth. We got the Rand Thanagar
Yeah.
War. We got Day of Vengeance, and then we got OMAC Project. Those were the 4 tie-ins with it. Oof, so good. Anyway,
the Crisis back in the days used to hit on DC. Like the
because they were
pre-Crisis,
rare.
Infinite Earths.
They were rare.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You
touche.
can't have it too often. Blood Hunt number 4 though, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
And you get some really cool. You get a really cool thing where how do I put this? The ghost of Doctor Strange goes to Doctor Doom to say, "We need your help," and Doctor Doom's like, "Okay, but make me Sorcerer Supreme." And so like it's a really cool moment. It's really cinematic. I wanted to just, before we move on, one last thing is, in the first issue, I think it's like in the first however many pages of Blood Hunt, I love the trope of like a superhero being like, "You stay put, I'm coming to you." Like, I love this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Batman does it sometimes where he's like, you know, and then he like races in the Batmobile. So there is a scene in the first issue where like Blade is like, "I'm coming to you," but then there's a twist. It was really cool.
I'm excited. Even with knowing the twist, it's like everything I'm reading, since I'm reading so much of like Snyder's Batman, it's all been spoiled for me through like just media.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with a little spoiler every now and then. I'm excited.
The tie-ins though.
That,
like Wolverine. Wolverine Blood Hunt tie-in. Midnight Suns Blood Hunt. Those have all been good.
Yeah. Those actually been really good, actually.
All right, so I'm gonna back away from Blood Hunt 4. I'm gonna let you guys talk about your pick of the week. Pick of the week.
Okay.
Picks of the week.
Oh, Chris, you want to go first?
Sure. I have an honorable mention before because I didn't talk about this book. Creature of the Black Lagoon lives.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I read the first 2 issues, I think.
Yeah, Ron V is really killing it with that one.
It's really good.
Anything from the Monsters universe right now. I mean, we got Dracula with James Tynion the 4th, and now this, and Frankenstein's coming out fairly soon.
Wake me up when the Wolfman comes, because the Wolfman was my favorite.
I was always a fan of Invisible Man.
The Mummy is one of my favorite movies. The Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Yeah, no, I grew up.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and so like, you can't if they do something like that for the comic. Or if the comic is literally a continuation of that story, ooh.
Yeah, I had to mention that even as an honorable mention. Like the Monsters universe has been so good so far. Yeah. But I mean, my pick of the week, I sort of touched on it earlier. It was Animal Pound.
Yeah.
Tom King. I don't think you can really go wrong there. So that
some people, I mean, he's hit or miss, but yeah.
Yeah, you and I have been in a conversation about Tom King.
Well, I don't hate on Tom King.
No.
There are people who hate on Tom King. I'm talking he's hit or miss.
Chicago. We had a discussion about Tom King. I was excited. I like what he writes, so I had no problem with it. So I was excited. I was like, okay, Animal Farm was a cool book in high school. You know, let's check it out. But I truly love like the dynamics between, like, it's, you know, in Animal Farm it's pigs, you know, it's farm animals. But in this one, you're just in a pound. You get rabbits, dogs, and cats, and it's an interesting dynamic because they play into the size of the animals and like their voting rights and who's gonna be the leader. And for example, for voting, to see the amount of votes, they have to weigh the animals to see how many votes they get. But also then the dogs start eating the rabbits, and it's like, okay, if they keep eating the rabbits, they're gonna be heavier,
bigger than the other ones. Yeah,
we were just eating dog food, so we were all sort of the same weight. Now they're eating the rabbits, they're gonna take the votes away.
So it's like socio-political stuff, kind of like how Animal Farm is.
Also, like they have a webcam because they take over the pound. They kick out the humans. They have a webcam, and like they'll just do like, you know, they'll put a kid in there, and like people donate money, and that's how they order the food. It's a whole thing. And then in the last one, without spoiling, I'm not gonna say who, because it just came out yesterday.
Yeah.
There is a power shift, and
Okay.
they go back to, instead of saying like, "Hey, we're all equal," they just say we're animals. Like we're gonna do what animals do.
Okay. All right.
And they,
I'm gonna read this one. I think
I'm about to say, I think I'm going to read this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've convinced me, Christian.
and the writing, Tom King is just really killing it. The art is beautiful. It's so detailed, but not really. Like it's still like cartoony in a sense, but
Yeah.
I just like the art. That's my pick of the week.
All right. All right. That's a good pick. Aaron, you got pick of the week.
Yes, sir. So mine, of course, is going to be X-Men: Era of Apocalypse number
Yeah.
2. I thought this is a really good idea to bring Apocalypse to bring Apocalypse full circle. For those who don't know, short synopsis: Apocalypse is now Rocco it remains like for mutants, but Apocalypse decides that he wants to make an heir apparent for the mutants of Earth and to who's going to run the next cycle of the next generation. So like he puts out like it kind of extends to the story that was trying to be told back in the day, like the 12. That storyline
It
that was
does seem
kind of
like the 12. Yeah.
yeah, it gives like a lot of the 12 energy. That was the story by Chris Claremont. And it feels like they're trying to revamp that but do a better job at it. And I kind of like the idea of him trying to using these different people, and for all of them have different reasons for wanting to come to the table, especially for people like Exodus, like who he specifically said he specifically tells him, "Do you want to be my opposing force to my apocalypse?" And I was like, this is a good way to bring Apocalypse's story to an end, but also give him something else to do without making it, oh, Apocalypse has gone mad, he's just going back to old ways. Like, and everybody has like a motive or a reason to want to do it. So like it gives them a, I like to see, I'm excited to see where this story is going to go, especially for people like Richter and stuff, who like I've been reading his story from like Excalibur and everything, and how like him and Apocalypse secretly, like they don't talk about it, but they have definitely known each other, and that's all I'm going to say
You
on
think
that.
Richter and
For
Apocalypse?
sure. Totes my goats, bro.
Mm,
I like, if you don't like mutants and magic, so you haven't read Excalibur, but the way they write them in that is very intimate. And then there's a moment when Apocalypse leaves, when he goes to like find his family in Morocco,
yeah.
like when he leaves him, he's like, he leaves all of his worldly possessions and stuff to Apocalypse. I mean to Richter, and he says like, you have meant more to me than something like, and they kind of like space it to where like y'all have been something for each other for a time, but now y'all have found y'all other person. Like it's kind of very weird, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
I
I'm
thought
excited
it
to
was
see
a
it,
mentor-mentee situation.
and it is that too. It's kind of
Okay.
giving college professor meets student kind of a little bit. It kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It's complicated. It's complicated. But the story,
Wait, but
but I love the story though.
Richter's with Shatterstar.
Now he is, and
Okay.
and they only got together after Apocalypse left and Shatterstar came back, and even then, like he told Shatterstar, like, I know that Richard told him, I know you had a connection with Apocalypse, and they don't talk about it ever again. And I'm like, why would you ever say? I was like, so something's happening here. Like we're
Okay.
just not gonna. Okay, it's just like the polyamory thing with Wolverine, X-Men, I mean, and
Yeah.
Cyclops and Jean. We're just not
Yeah.
gonna talk about it, but we know.
That's a lot to hear.
I just when it
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
side note, I know that people talk about the triangle of Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey, but I
Yes.
also and I do agree with that, but I
Mhm.
also think that it's possible, more than possible, for two guys to just share the girl instead of sharing each other. I'm just saying.
Yes, I
I
agree with
think
that
in
actually.
Krakoa, Cyclops and Wolverine were sharing Jean, but I
As
don't.
the queer
I
perspective, I can definitely tell you, I agree with that. Yeah,
they
for
were. I
sure.
mean that part can't be argued, and I'm not like arguing so hardcore. I'm just saying that like it doesn't
They,
mean Cyclops and
yeah,
Wolverine are having it.
They have made jokes
Yeah.
about it, but it's never been
Yeah.
in your face.
Right. Like I don't see them as like a thing. Like I can see the tension and where people would see certain things, but I honestly just see it as like
They're a
Jean
Yeah.
throuple.
being like a femdom and being like, yeah, I have two boyfriends now. Like
Yeah.
I definitely see
I'll
them like being like, hey, we love her both
I'll
enough.
put it
Like
how I see it. Whether they are or not, it doesn't affect me. Keep it
that work.
going,
Well,
guys.
I don't know. Like sometimes, like
I
I
personally love it
like
for
my
Jean, honestly.
characters in these relationships.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's
Quicksilver and Monet are dating,
Yeah.
and so
That's the
it's
thing.
interesting because they're doing it across multiple titles. Because Monet
Hmm.
is one of the people in Heir of Apocalypse, and there's
Right.
a scene where she said, "Oh, Quicksilver just ran to France or something to get a baguette or something, and
Right.
he's gonna be back in a couple seconds, so you better make it quick."
So
So
you
like,
hmm
but then Monet and Quicksilver also appeared in Scarlet Witch #1 that came out a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
so like they're together, whatever that means for both of them. They're together.
Right.
They're
And it works.
cohabitating in some respect.
Yeah.
that's
Right. They
fun.
may not be dating, but they're together in some sense.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me as someone who doesn't really read X-Men that my knowledge of Richter and
Mm,
Apocalypse are Logan and then X-Men Apocalypse. Because Richter shows up in Logan for about what 20 seconds at the end.
right.
Oh, is he one of
As
the
a
Right.
kids?
he's one of the
That
kids.
doesn't
Yeah.
count.
He's
I
on
don't
the
know
kid.
whether the kids are actually those characters.
And then
That's
Those are
Apocalypse,
those characters.
X-Men
It is. I
Apocalypse.
think he is.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
Yeah. He's
it's
Wait,
yeah.
you didn't watch X-Men '97 or anything?
no, not yet.
Okay, that's easy, dude. Just
Oh.
No,
hop
no, I
on, man.
will. I will.
Okay.
Hey, I'm busy. Okay, I try my best. I'm catching
It's
up in
X-Men
so many
'97,
things.
man. Come on.
I can do the
I caught
best I
up.
can.
I caught up on 91 issues of The Walking Dead to be here, man.
Well,
That's real.
thank you
That's
for
real.
that. But also, what?
No, I
What?
want. Well, I'll tell you this. To explain this, I didn't grow up watching X-Men.
Yeah.
Definitely caught a couple episodes every now and then. So when X-Men 97 was announced, I wasn't a part of the group that was super excited to
Mm,
watch.
Yeah.
I will watch it because it does sound really cool. I mean, Cyclops is my favorite X-Men.
Mhm.
That on its own, I know he gets a
yeah.
spotlight.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch it, but
Yeah.
I didn't have to jump on it day one.
Okay.
And
That's
since I'm starting to read
Respectable.
X-Men next month, thanks to you guys letting me know 5 minutes ago,
You
might
gotta
be a little bit
jump
more
on, man.
excited.
You gotta jump on.
right.
All right, so anyway, Heir of Apocalypse #2 has some like really cool moments, and then I guess we're meant to
Yeah.
think that like some people are dying.
Yeah.
That like Sinister is
Because
slowly killing off people, but I don't think he's killing them. It's just weird.
I don't think he's killing them. Yeah, it's a weird moment. We don't know what's happening with him. Why he's there, we still don't know. But we're just gonna rock with it until I guess the wheels fall off. Honestly, like out of all of them, who do you want it to be?
To be the next Apocalypse.
Yeah,
I think Richter. Because I mean,
honestly,
like,
fact.
which characters don't have anything going on? Like, which characters need the
Right.
boost?
Also, they are
Popularity,
together. So.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
right?
whatever they
He
are. I
bequeathed
don't
all
know.
his knowledge to him, so it makes sense. It would go to him. He gave him everything he had on mutant magic, and now it's his next heir. Like that's why I felt when Richter said like you weren't meant for this. I was made for this. Like, and I was like, yeah. He said I'm true to this, and I'm not new to this. And I'm ready for it. But him or Exodus, honestly, like I would honestly like I wouldn't mind Exodus being the opposing force of Apocalypse.
I mean, it would
I
be
feel like he
cool
could do it.
if they do
Or
two.
Cypher.
You're right, but
Yeah.
I don't want Cypher. I want Cypher to figure out something else. Go back to the New Mutants. Like, no, he's been no. I'm not saying
He
in a bad
doesn't
way. I like
he doesn't
Cypher.
have
He
anything
did
going
a
on.
lot. He did a lot in the Krakoan Age. I think that like
Yeah.
Richter barely did anything in the Krakoan Age.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but you haven't read the Excalibur stuff. That's where he comes in. That's where he shines. But you're right. He for the whole of mutant kind, nah, he
Yeah.
did do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Um. So, because of time, we gotta get through some of these other ones that we by the way, in July, 4 X-Men comics come out. X-Men #1, Phoenix, NYX, and X-Force come out in July.
All #1s?
All of those #1s.
I'm gonna go pull this.
And all of them different weeks. The 4 different weeks, they've spread them out. July 10th, X-Men 1. July 17th, Phoenix 1. July 24th, NYX. July 31st, X-Force.
NYX sounds cool just on a name kind of basis.
Right, just off the name alone.
Not knowing a single thing.
Probably my favorite.
All right, so what else do we got to get off our chest for books that you would hate yourself if you don't get to talk about it?
Oh, I guess I can talk about The Flash. You guys said you hadn't been reading The Flash, right?
I read the first couple issues of this run, and it didn't resonate with me.
It's very wordy.
It's
very wordy. I will say that. The beginning, like, I read them all today, being completely transparent, and it took me a minute. But there's a very interesting twist on #9. That leads up to #10, and it's all about like the Speed Force is kind of like killing the world itself. So all the Speed Force are being forced to stop using their powers by Amanda Waller.
Oh,
so she's trying to capture all of them, and also there's these guys out of time trying to capture them.
Okay.
And can I spoil issue #9? It was a month ago.
Yeah, that's fine.
Please.
The guy leading all of the like future people trying to stop the speedsters is actually Wade West, Wally's son.
Yeah,
from the future.
The new one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. From the future.
Wait, which Wally? Red hair or the black Wally? Okay.
So his son from the future is stopping his dad.
Oh, they introduced a new child for Wally West because he has Jay.
He has another one.
He has Jay and Irie, and then Wade is from the future. Yeah.
And there's this kind of interesting moment where like Wade carries himself as a baby and changes his own diaper, and they're like, "Isn't this gonna mess up anything?" And he's like, "There's a reason why I'm here."
Is he pulling a cable? Is that what it is? Like,
it's wild.
Mark's done it a few times himself.
And Wally's sort of lost in like somewhere in outside of the world and dimensions and time. It's a fun. The Flash is my favorite superhero.
I'm sorry. That's Wally's life, is being stuck in the somewhere in time and space. Like, I just need them to give Wally a break for a minute. Like, let him
Barry has always been my favorite Flash, mainly because it's the one I grew up with.
Which is weird that it's the one that you grew up with, and that's because, like, for the longest time, Wally was the Flash, and that's what I know.
It's just, the only one I knew as a kid was Barry Allen. That's the only name I knew. I had a Barry Allen toy, and that was my Flash. So when I found out about Wally West, I was like, "Who's this kid? Get him out of here!"
That's crazy.
But this is my first. This is my first like active Wally run. Because I read I think it's Jeff Johns did has like an Omni. That one has Wally. Run? Yeah. I read that one. That was good. But this is my actual like ongoing. This is my first Wally run, and I'm happy with it so far.
I love the Wally run that started right after for Infinite Frontier. That whole thing, like I think it's Joshua Williamson. I loved that Flash run. It was so good. And so I miss it.
Infinite Frontier. Yeah. Okay.
I miss it, you know?
I mean, listen, this one's a lot to get through, and it's it has a lot of dialogue, but I'm having fun with it as of today.
Okay. All right. DC released their Absolute Power Ground Zero, which is their like issue 0, right, of this event. And in it, there was a couple of, it was like a couple of short stories that tie in with Waller and the plans that Waller is making, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys read that?
No, not yet.
Yeah. I will look here. One thing I'll always stand is a amazing female villain, and you may hate her, but you love to hate her. Like, she is someone who always is gonna get stuff done. and like she was going to be like in the book they said always going to be 2 steps ahead of you, and that book it just proves like she just
Y-
like Batman and Lex Luthor and all them could never
I will
like
say there's a specific power that Amanda Waller has over me. Like if I'm
yes,
reading a Superman book and Lex shows up, I'm like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
If
right.
the moment Amanda Waller showed up in the Flash 9, I was like, God, not
You
her.
know something's going to get fucked up, right? Like
It
Wait,
you
annoyed me
know that
so
there's going to be
much in a good
pandemonium.
way.
yeah. Well,
Exactly.
the story with her and this character named Time Commander, I thought that was like a really good one because like basically
Yeah, I like that one too.
she holds this guy, she brings this guy back from the dead with his own technology. Then she says, because you know this technology, I need you to figure out these problems. So then he like
Hmm.
he sees the future that like everybody's gonna die. Then he's like, oh, I gotta figure out a way to escape. And then he every like some things go wrong, but he ends up escaping through time and then
Right.
ending up in a
Yeah.
cell looking at himself because he went back in time. Basically, Waller rigged the
Right.
compound that if anyone time travels, they go back in time and end up in a
To
cell.
that exact point in that cell. I just I couldn't help but to just be like, girl, I was like checkmate. Like just she is
Don't
a
say checkmate.
chess
Checkmate's a different
playing.
organization.
Very touche, touche, touche.
Checkmate.
Like she just she outset she every time you think like, oh, this is gonna be the moment. Like an Amanda Waller plot is never gonna be something as simple as, oh, we're gonna be the Suicide Squad. Like the Suicide Squad is just like a small thing of what she
Yeah.
does. Like
I think
she
through
is all of these
media,
people.
through like
Yeah,
media, we have known her as the Suicide Squad lady.
Well,
right.
I mean, to be
But
fair, she did start, that was like her come up, right? But
Yeah.
now
yeah, that
she
was
has
what
her
her
hands in
that's
a
what made
lot
her
of pots, right? Like
that part.
she's
Yeah,
messing
Yeah.
and
with magic, she's messing with alien technology, she's
Yeah.
messing with time, she's
do you,
like there's a lot going
and
on.
didn't this absolute power Amanda Waller like start from like Night Terrors, like from it's been like brewing
Beast
for a
World, I think.
while.
Well, maybe it's Night Terrors, but also Beast
Yeah,
World. Um,
it's been coming, and
yeah,
you love to hate her. I'm
Yeah.
happy.
And
yeah.
that's what you love so much about it. Like she plays the long con, and we appreciate a long con. Like I love a story that builds up from like different stories where you don't know where it's gonna go. Because there are some stories that annoy you that they do like little reveals here and there, but it goes to nothing. But when you actually take the time to be like, oh, we're gonna drop this here and then drop this here, and then oh, years later, like a year or two later, this like, oh wait, I forgot they did this, and that's when it all falls together. That's what Amanda Waller is.
the the
Like
beauty the beauty about her is that like she's fighting against who? The Flash, Batman, Superman, and
the
she is
strongest
by
hero.
all means like in the spectrum of power in the DC universe, she's no one.
Mhm. Right,
She
right.
has nothing.
But yet she walks in with an air of such confidence that like you don't know her. Like she may be calm and quiet, but
Yeah.
when she walks in a room, you know like, oh, something's about to happen. Like someone's life is gonna be upended.
Yeah, and she's beating all of them. I don't care how powerful
Oh,
they are.
every single time. And she doesn't care if you're man, woman, alien. She doesn't fear her. She doesn't fear you, and
Yeah.
like she's gonna stand on business.
Viola Davis, by the way, playing Amanda Waller, so good.
Amazing.
Oh
Such good casting, Viola
yes.
Davis.
What?
I don't
Um,
think anyone could have done it better.
yeah,
No
yeah.
one could have done it better. Yeah, I couldn't have thought of anyone better than
Uh,
her.
it's actually kind of funny that you say that because like people have like okay, there have been multiple live action Amanda Wallers, a
Yeah.
couple. There
Yeah,
was one in
people are
CW who
complaining
was
because
just
she's
this
not.
like skinny hot black
Yeah.
lady,
Oh my God, on the
right?
arrow, yeah,
On Arrow, right? And
Yep.
she was
and she
skinny,
had
she
the
was hot,
demeanor.
like she was young, and it was like
Yeah,
okay, I guess. But then and then people showed like the new 52 Amanda Waller is like secret agent hot bombshell Amanda Waller. But I
yes,
remember so Amanda Waller used to be short. She used to be short and blocky, like
yeah,
maybe like 5 foot. Like Amanda
Yeah.
Waller used
yeah.
to be like a short lady. And then
she was a thick sister.
yeah, but
With a
then
shortcut,
now
and we loved it.
they still like she's back to being big, but she's not.
Right.
She's taller. So like everybody's
Yeah.
like she's always kind of changed, but like I don't know. I just think it's funny. I always thought she looked like, and this is a deep cut. Does anyone well, Christian? I think you're too young.
Hey, yeah.
Aaron, did you ever watch Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider
Yeah.
on PBS?
Mm-hmm. No. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Stick with me here. This is a deep
Oh
cut.
God.
Jamal, his grandma, the actress who, like, she was in a bunch of stuff. You know who I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
I think I'm thinking
God.
of the right actress. I'm gonna look.
I'm trying to remember her name.
It's
God.
Grandma Jenkins from Ghost Rider. I'm just looking this up. This is my memory. I always, growing up in the 90s, when I learned about Amanda Waller, I was like, that's who should play her. I was like, she was so exact.
You know, for the 90s, for some reason, I saw the woman who played the mom on Family Matters for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, Marie Payton, I think is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason I see her like the attitude, like, and that's the one thing I've always liked Amanda as like the short stocky Amanda. Like
Yeah.
I feel like she holds more power as the short stocky woman, not just the sexy hot woman who can get shit done. Like
she has something to prove, because at first sight people undermine her. Yeah.
Exactly. You think once you see her, they think, oh, she's just some small
I think
black woman
the powerful
who's not do
the powerful thing, even if you take it down to like that, character design is female character immediately, generally undermined.
Right.
Yeah.
Person of color.
Yeah.
Immediately undermined. Short.
Yeah.
A little bit heavier. Like, this is a character who, like, when people see her and immediately just put her off to the side.
Right.
But she's proving herself every single day.
She's known as Amanda the Waller. Like, she was known as the Wall. Like, that was her nickname. I want to touch on a couple of books that tie in with this, with absolute power and everything. So if you guys had other books that tie in, we can talk about that. But Action Comics 1066 is House of Brainiac Part 5. And then there's Superman 15, which is House of Brainiac Part 6, which ends the House of Brainiac arc. So the House of Brainiac arc leads us
kind of leads into the absolute
straight into absolute power, because Brainiac in these two issues. By the way, the fact that these two issues came out in the same week has to be DC being like, "Uh-oh, you're right. Absolute Power is coming out, and we can't wait on this."
Yeah,
we timed it out wrong.
Yeah, I was saying it had to be a
they timed it out wrong. I have never seen a week in my whole time of doing Comic Talk, I've never seen a week where Action Comics comes out on the same day as Superman.
Yeah. Even as someone who buys both of them, I was surprised.
Yeah, they usually come out like 1 week after, right?
Yeah.
It annoyed me so much. I was talking to Cody on Cody Collects, another fellow creator, about he loves Action Comics, and I had told him, like, I'm dropping it. I'm not really enjoying it so much, the different stories. And then House of Brainiac started, and he was like, don't drop it.
Are you reading it?
Not yet. I'm just letting, when it comes to like short events like that, it's just an event within the Superman mythos.
Yeah.
I can let those pile up, and then I'll read it as I go.
Are you okay with spoilers though?
Yeah, 100%.
Because like I said, everything set up a couple things.
Everything back there you see behind me, for the people watching the video, that's all old, and I know what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it.
Okay, all right.
I started reading New X-Men, Cassandra. I know who she is. I've seen that baby fight times.
Yes.
Cassandra Nova. Yeah.
Yes, the baby fight. We love the iconic baby fight.
And now I'm reading it, and I got excited when I saw that page. I don't mind spoilers, because you're spoiling like a frame of an entire movie.
In the womb.
Yeah. So this whole House of Brainiac thing ends with a couple of key points. One is Brainiac, the Brainiac Queen is like almost completely depowered. Brainiac, quote unquote, dies. There's a cool moment where it mirrors the death of Krypton. Aaron, you read this one, right?
Yes, I thought that was
Brainiac.
very,
It was
very
so.
poetic.
It was yeah. It was, I
Like,
was like,
from
this is
sending
weird.
her off into the thing in the pod at the end of it, I was like, oh, this is the perfect way to end his story. Like, I thought that was a really good way of doing it. Especially like the whole him finding family. You know what it kind of reminded me of for some reason? Brainiac making his own family and stuff kind of reminded me of that the Vision comic when
Yeah,
he made his little
Tom King.
family. That's the kind of, yes. Oh my God, he wrote that. Oh God, that was,
Yeah,
yeah, that's one of my favorite stories
that
too.
was one of my
But
favorite,
yeah,
my first comic books I ever read was
Mm.
that trade.
ooh,
It's a
okay.
good cohesive
That was one
story,
of my first
definitely.
Vision comics. Yeah,
Um,
it was. Oh my gosh,
it sets up a
favorite
couple
Vision
things
story
though.
ever.
Is what I was. Amanda Waller
Yes.
gets Brainiac Queen, and I think they take away Lex. I think they give Lex amnesia or something, because at the end
Yeah,
of
which I thought
Superman
was
15,
very.
Lex does it. He's like, "Who's Lex Luthor?"
He doesn't
So
remember who he is. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Lex is essentially, in a way, like lobotomized for the course of
yeah.
absolute power. Otherwise, Lex would just outsmart Waller.
Right. Yeah, they said the hive mind like over well, something his assimilated brain or something. So now he's
Yeah.
just a blank state, which I feel like that's a good story for him, but I feel like after the development that we just got, character development we just got from him, especially after the whole learning of the whole Lena story about what he did to, like, when he gave her a way to get technology and like all this stuff, and like essentially like learned his lesson that I couldn't do anything to stop her, like learned that he isn't the smartest man in the world and all these things. I feel like that was such a, like, I felt that was a poor way to go with him. Like, give him his chance to earn that first, and then like maybe do this later. But it makes
Yep.
sense for absolute ground zero, because if there's anybody who's gonna rival her, it's gonna be
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Um,
but I wanted more for that.
we got
yeah,
about like 10 minutes, so we're gonna rush through everything real quick.
Let's rush to him.
Um, I know Christian, you read. Uh, oh, I mean, we pretty much. I mean, did we
yeah.
touch on everything that you read essentially?
I think
Oh,
so. I
Okay.
mean, I can talk.
Um,
I was reading Narnia yesterday.
like Narnia, like
hey,
the Chronicles of Narnia.
throwback, as in the
Yeah,
Chronicles of.
Talk about a series that never got like a comic book. Like that never got a comic book.
you know.
Harry
Yeah,
Potter hasn't gotten a
technically it
comic
got a
book.
show. The Magicians is basically the Chronicles of Narnia, y'all. Let's be real.
Is it?
It's
If
getting a show
oh
on
my God,
Netflix. It's getting
yes.
like
If
a
you've never
new
seen it,
movie on
it's
Netflix.
the adult version of Chronicles of Narnia.
Like
Narnia, I
with
swear to you. Like
The
Gre-
from,
Magicians?
Greta
Okay.
Gerwig
yeah.
is directing Narnia next.
Oh, that's gonna eat. I'm
And
ready for
I'm
that. Yeah,
so excited.
I'm so
I did
excited.
start reading Narnia for the first time ever, but that was just a joke. Now I'm just excited. Thank you
I
guys.
I don't
Yeah.
care about Narnia. I'll watch it, but I don't care about Narnia.
Oh, I was obsessed with Narnia. I was
Eh.
obsessed with it.
Um, Also tying in with Absolute Power is Green Arrow number 13. Um, and essentially it's just setting up that like Green Arrow, Oliver Queen is working for Waller throughout this event. And it's a little
Yes.
bit off brand and a little bit weird for this character to do this. Um,
Yeah,
it's a little
especially
out of
Oliver.
character,
It was
but I'm
confusing. He
willing to
showed up
wait.
here. He
Yeah,
showed up here, and I was so confused. I was like, actually, that's him right there in
The
the
Green
Well,
cover.
so
Arrow
was
we
with Dreamer.
know wouldn't work with Waller. So what's going on? There has to be something. So
I'm
I
the
don't know.
whole Green Arrow run. I haven't caught up with it, but like, it's so strange. This
I
new
like this
one.
current run. It's just
I'm liking it, but it's
weird.
strange.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm
Um,
liking that all the family are together.
let's yeah, the whole Arrow family.
Hmm.
Superior Spider-Man number 8 is the end of this new Superior Spider-Man run. It's just an 8-issue miniseries, and it ends
Yeah.
again similar to Lex Luthor. Uh, Otto
Yeah.
Octavius kind of gets a mind wipe.
Yeah. I
It
just
kind of fell flat, right, Aaron? Is that what you're gonna
Yeah,
say?
for sure. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Honestly, I think what messed it up for me was the fact, like, I still haven't gotten over that, the fact that I thought that he was gonna be Spider Man again, and he wasn't. And we just get the Doctor Octavius, and I'm like, for what? Like, who wanted this? Like, like Like
Yeah.
I like some of them. Some of the story is good, like especially the stuff with Spider Boy.
Yeah.
Like I love the
Or Anna
stories that
Marie
fall
or
into
whatever.
that.
What's her name? Anna.
Yeah, Anne Marie, yeah, and I think no, Anne Marie maybe I think,
Is it Anne? Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I like that story. That's a nice pickup, but like I feel like it did fall short of what I expected it, and yeah,
Anna Maria Marconi. Anna
there we
Maria.
go.
Yes. Let's hit a couple more things. Helverine number
Um,
2.
mhm.
I'm only reading it because of the big reveal that happened at the end of issue number 1,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm here for. Um, it's just one of those X-Men titles that's just bridging the gap in between these new
right,
eras. As the Krakoan Age
right.
is finished, the new whatever era of X-Men is going to be starting soon. So there's a couple X-Men comics that are
Hmm.
really here to just bridge the gap.
Right.
Helverine number 2 though, not bad, not bad. It's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
really good is Midnight Sun's Blood Hunt 2. I loved it.
It was good. I did like that one.
Yeah,
It was a nice little moment for them.
yeah. Aaron, what else did you get?
Um, Thanos Annual was pretty good. We get the fact that we have a new Infinity Stone now, the Death Stone, that he made from Death itself. I like it was a cool little story. Like the Infinity Stones, the people who hold the Infinity Stones, FYI for those who don't know, the Infinity Stones are now people, who have been scattered around
Nice.
the world. So now, they have to join together and they try to like see what they can become, but of course, Thanos is trying to stop them, and basically, Thanos basically helped the Death Stone realize that, oh wait, I can get my own host, and it rejected him once again, and found it and went to go find itself another host, and now Thanos is once again left alone, and
That's
I kind of
fun.
loved it. I thought it was bittersweet. Right, exactly. Like
That's
it
fun.
did show like it shows like a soft moment for Thanos, showing like he didn't want to be a killer, he just became a killer,
Yeah.
but also like showing, but this is what you are, so now you got to stick with it. So like
You
it was a
chose
nice
this.
moment for him. Yeah, you chose this, bro. Like
All
so now
right,
you got to sit with it.
cool.
But
Feral. Sorry,
other
we gotta move past it.
oh
Is
no,
that
no, no,
cool?
no. Oh yeah, no, I got no. I was gonna go to the next book. To the next book. So I was
Oh,
gonna
okay.
see which other books you read.
Feral number 4 from Image Comics is a cute, violent book. It's from the same makers as Stray Dogs, which
Oh,
I
nice.
loved. And it's essentially a rabies sort of. Rabies is like a zombie virus to the like it's the next stage of
Oh,
rabies. So like
Mm,
mammals can get it, and so these domesticated cats are, it's kind of like a homeward bound situation. And
oh,
so
nice.
except
mm.
suddenly, like out of
I love
nowhere,
Homeward
you'll see
Bound.
like a wolf just eat a cat. Like you'll just see, like it'll just happen suddenly, and so it's
Oh,
like,
cute.
It's
you
Walking
know
Dead, but for animals. Okay, I like
essentially,
this. All
yeah.
right.
So it is what it is, but I like it. That was Feral number 4 from Image Comics.
Okay.
um Aaron, real quick, what do we got left?
Let's see. X-Men Blood Hunt, Magic was a nice moment. Good story for Magic. Her going back to her hometown and fighting some vampires. It was a nice little like kick butt moment. It wasn't too much.
Okay.
um, what else? What else? The Power Girl number 10 was a nice one. I liked her and her working with Lobo's daughter, I guess.
Crush.
I
Okay.
kind of Yeah, Crush. I kind of want them to get together. I don't know why. I just feel that in my spirit. Um, but other than that, the Black Widow and Hawkeye number 4. That was a nice. That's a nice book. I'm loving the Black Widow with a symbiote. It's really good, and like the symbiote's opposing force to like not liking Hawkeye as well, but also like having to like work with Hawkeye and like simultaneously trying to like work against him while Black Widow's work with him. It's a nice it was a nice story. I'm excited to see what that ends. But the only other one, Rick and Morty Kingdom Balls. It is such an off wall a book, but it was Kingdom Hearts based, and I already knew I was going to be for it. I'm such a mark for Kingdom Hearts. It's fun, and I'm ready to read what I wanted to have more books. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Kingdom
um,
Balls is
but
so funny.
Kingdom Balls, like
Okay. All
who
right.
but Rick and Morty?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know if anyone else has any more. Daredevil number 10 was pretty good this week. Daredevil, Matt Murdock is a priest now, Father Matt. But he's also Daredevil. There's also a big Kingpin moment, so that's cool. Ultimate Black Panther number 5 it was a good book. Ultimate Black Panther.
Still no mouthpiece?
I think he has an
No
open
mouthpiece.
mouth. I think he has an open
Yeah.
mouth. Yeah.
Let me know when
that
he
irritates
covers
me
that.
too. Wow, Christian, I feel so seen because I was definitely like, I don't know why I don't like this, but this is irritating me.
but Storm looks good. I love
amazing.
Storm.
Amazing.
Also, they introduce a lore change because essentially,
yes,
they essentially say there is a substance that is anti-vibranium. So whereas vibranium boosts technology, this new substance boosts life, like organic matter.
Oh,
and that's
wow.
a problem because two opposing forces. So
I gotta read it. I got it right here.
Yeah. So that was good. And then I really wanted to read Redcoat number 3 from Image Comics, but I didn't get the chance. And then that's all I got. I think we're good. I think we got everything.
Right? I think we got everything. I read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 121.
Okay.
It was a nice book, and it made me want to read the other stuff. Like I just read it because I was like, you know what, I have extra time, I'm gonna do it. And it centers around my favorite Power Rangers, the blue one. So I was like, oh yeah, let's read it, see where where it goes. Now it makes me want to read Power Rangers. For anybody who are out there who is a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan, if you know where I can begin reading that, just let me know because I kind of want to read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers now. So there that is.
Awesome. I want to thank you guys both so much for taking time out of your day to come here.
Of course.
To be on the show, talk about all the books that we read. Before we get going, Aaron, where can people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
All right. So nothing coming up right now. But as always, you can find me at TikTok at Kinkakoa. On Instagram, you can find me on Aaron the Star Child. Name pending. We'll see. But other than that, I also do a podcast every now and once a month Life Friends podcast as well. You can catch me on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the things. And that's about it for me.
Awesome. Christian, what about you?
Comic Book Stash on TikTok and Instagram, and then Color Break Podcast on YouTube. We just talk about comics. Me and my friend Cody collects. And the only other thing I want to say is, you want to know what comics are? It's this moment right here when we mentioned Amanda Waller, and everybody jumped and laughed and smiled.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of comics.
Every time.
I feel like comics is so unique. I can't express the impact that comics have had on my life. But the fact that comics are soap opera book clubs, you know what I mean?
It was beautiful.
Let's
just
honest,
seeing your reactions was a very special moment for me. And I don't want to get corny or anything. It was just beautiful.
Thank you guys for participating in this experiment called friendship.
I'm happy.
We try to experiment every now and then. It's pretty cool.
Experiment like Jean Grey and Cyclops and Wolverine.
Guys, let me know.
Full circle. We're the circle that the world needed.
For anyone out there who wants to follow me personally, Dimithri, you can follow me at This Is Dimithri on all social media. But if you're looking to follow The Keeg, follow us at The Keeg Show on all social media or / The Keeg Show, pretty much. TikTok and Instagram are two biggest ones, at The Keeg Show there, or Facebook, Twitter, Threads, all that stuff, at The Keeg Show or / The Keeg Show, patreon.com / The Keeg Show, all that good stuff. Now, this is Comic Talk. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on twitch.tv / The Keeg Show, youtube.com / The Keeg Show, or you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. I think those are the big ones. Podcast is all there. So wherever you guys want to tune in, thank you guys so much for it. Let us know if you're out there, if you're in the chat, if you're, listening to the podcast, whatever, like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. Just give us a thumbs up. Let us know you're out there. It's always nice to see, because sometimes I look at the chat and I look at who's there and who's not saying anything. So I don't know. There's a viewer named I'm Low Key Dumb, and you're out there and you didn't say hi in the chat, and I feel like we're missing out. I think that your input would be greatly appreciated.
Show that
You don't
love.
have to. You don't have to. You
love. I love. I'm Loki dumb. I know them.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Great.
Okay. So there you go. But no matter what, thank you guys so much for contributing and supporting the podcast and whatnot.
Sure.
Now this is Comic Talk. It's one where we talk about comics, and we do this every week. Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We also got the Acolyte tonight, which is Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about literally the episode of Acolyte that came out earlier that day. We do a podcast right after that. So for anyone watching the new Star Wars show, The Acolyte, tune in on Tuesday nights for our live stream / podcast. We also got State of X, which is our X-Men podcast every month, and then we got the Key Talks, which tends to be on the weekends. So there's a lot that we do. Find your comic shops at comicshoplocator.com. Support your local comic shops that way. Also support your public libraries. That's also another place you can be getting your comics from, there's a lot of avenues for comics. Definitely, follow Aaron and follow Christian and, ask them questions and recommendations if you'd like to. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Christian, so much for coming on the show. And thank you, everybody else out there. Once again, I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been another episode of Comic Talk for the week of June 27th, 2024. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Super fast, gotta beat the boss and get the loot, cause it's the king, and we got geek news.